Welcome to another video tutorial. In this video, I will address an important question of student whether we can use generative AI models like ChatGPT to improve the English language of manuscript. If yes, whether it is important to disclose this information while submitting article to the journal. If yes, where we should mention this information, and what are the author guidelines from the different journal about the use of AI. So without further ado, let me show you the different guidelines of the journal about the use of AI. Here you can see I have opened the page of Katina author guidelines, and if you can see, they have declared the generative AI information in the science writing. Author must declare the use of generative AI in scientific writing upon the submission of paper, and the following guidelines should be followed. And it is important to note that generative AI and AI assisted technologies should only be used in writing process to improve the readability and language of the manuscript. So it means for few journals, you can go to the websites of those journals and check the author guidelines. So most of the journals are now allowing to use the generative AI models or the ChatGPT to improve the language. So the answer is yes, you can use to improve the readability and language of this manuscript, but we should make sure that we are responsible for this content. We should properly check whether the information given through that ChatGPT or any generative AI model is right or wrong. So whenever we are submitting our content, so we are responsible for that. So even you can see they have mentioned that if you have used any generative AI model to check the language, so they said you can mention a statement during the preparation of this work, like author, whatever you want. In order to improve the language of this manuscript, they have used this tool and edited the content as needed, and we take all the responsibility of this content of this published article. So it means as long as we can mention this statement before the references or even another section, material and method section, so we can use these generative AI models. So here is this Katina, and I can show you a few more journals which have allowed. So here is another journal which is ecological indicator, and if the same declaration of generative AI in scientific writing, they also have mentioned that you can also use the generative AI model or other technologies to improve the language of manuscript. But again, you have to mention a statement that you have carefully used the use of ChatGPT or any other thing to improve the language of manuscript. And let me show you another journal in the list, that is Journal of Advanced Research, and similar to those, like you can see the disclosure of instruction. So authors must disclose the use of generative AI and AI assisted technologies in the writing process. But make sure, as you know, actually this discussion was started because one author, if you have often heard about this article in which someone has listed the ChatGPT as co-author, but you cannot use ChatGPT as the co-author, and meanwhile you can also not use direct response generated from the AI tools in your manuscript directly. It is okay, you can give your paragraph, you can give to the ChatGPT and ask it to improve the language of manuscript or polish it. So the resultant paragraph or the resultant text you can use directly, but you cannot directly give a command to generate anything, and you cannot use that generated text as such. And now I will show you a few articles which are published in the different journals which have already used ChatGPT and other generative models. So in this example, I have shown you one example from the Frontiers in Medicine, And as here you can see in the acknowledgement section, they said the lattice mathematical equation displayed in section 2.2 of our paper are generated through ChatGPT. Even they have mentioned the model and verified by our team for accuracy. I mean, you have to verify the content whether it is right or not, and this is the only place where ChatGPT is used in this paper. If you also want to use these generative models, so you also need to acknowledge this, and even according to few journals you need to mention this in your cover letter. And here is one more journal of MDPI, and I think so it is foods. Yeah, it is foods, and you can see in this published paper they have also mentioned that we acknowledge the use of open AI large scale language generation model GPT-3 for language and grammar checks. And if we can go ahead, and you can see even they have mentioned in the method section, you can see this is actually the method section, material and method section, and at the end of this mentioned the use of that AI. You can see the ChatGPT 3 was employed for language and grammar check within this article. So here is another example from Forensic Science and International Synergy, and if we can go to the end and see, yeah, you can see, let me zoom in. You can see the generative AI disclosure. During the preparation of this work, the author used OpenAI ChatGPT 4 to harmonize the text, and after using this tool, the authors reviewed and edited the content as needed and take full responsibility of the content of the publication. So I mean, now I think so this statement is very clear that they have made use of the ChatGPT to polish the content and especially the language of that manuscript. Here is the best practices. I mean, if you still don't understand, I mean, there are many journals, especially the Elsewhere and few other publishing series as well, which are allowing the use of these generative models. So, but if you still think and you are not sure, you are free to send an email to the editorial office and ask about this. And here I will paste this link about the best practices guidelines on the research integrity and publication ethics, so you can go into the detail of this. I mean, whether what you can do and what you cannot do. And even in the future you will see that many universities will be allowing the use of AI for improving English in different, like the master thesis and like the PhD thesis. So I believe so much more is coming in the future about the use of AI, and many more journals will allow the use of these AI tools. If you have seen any other paper which have the made use of these generative AI model, please mention in the comment section. And if you have any question related to this question, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.